Welcome, this is MCG Tech with a review of the Zotac GTX 950. This is the third 900 series Nvidia graphics card I have reviewed on the channel. For the lower price when compared to its 960 and 970 counterparts, I was curious to see how it performs in modern titles at higher settings. When this card was released in 2015, it had an MSRP of $160. At that price range, it competed with mid-rangers from AMD such as the Radeon R7 370, which similarly sported 2GB of GDDR5 VRAM. However, while the 370 only boosted to 975 MHz, the GTX 950 surpassed it with a 1266 MHz boost. Additionally, the 950 features 768 CUDA cores and a 1089 MHz base clock. Starting with synthetics, I ran the Blender Quick benchmark, which completed after 27 minutes. Throughout the rest of this review, keep in mind the test bench specs include a Core i7-2600, 24GB of DDR3 RAM, and a 900W PSU. Next, I ran the OpenGL test on Cinebench R15. This card scored 65.88 FPS, strangely placing it above the GTX 960 I just tested. From my understanding, this benchmark tests the system as a whole, so I guess the results were within the margin of error. I then ran the compute benchmark on Geekbench, utilizing the OpenCL API. The 950 scored 68,925. The Zotac GTX 950 scored 5,714 in the 3D graphics test in Passmark, which means it is in the 78th percentile. I ran the Unigine Heaven benchmark at high settings while using the DirectX 11 API, leading to a score of 1,474 and an average FPS of 58.5. For my final synthetic, I ran Unigine Superposition at medium settings, leading to a score of 4,050 and an average FPS of 30 while maxing out at 67 degrees Celsius. Transitioning over to games, I played Apex Legends at 1080p high settings. Although the average 46 FPS was reasonable, the dips made playing the game unenjoyable. For example, stutters sometimes caused awkward movement such as running into closed doors. Although Subnautica had a lower average FPS, the consistency from the minimum to average made the game feel much more fluid. This game really did put a lot of stress on the GPU during underwater exploration. CSGO ran well on this card, only dipping to 117 FPS. I used the same benchmark workshop map to test the 950 in a variety of situations. Resident Evil 2 was barely playable at high settings, with a constantly low FPS. In this game, a blend of settings is recommended to get the best playing experience. Finally, I tested The Division 2. This game was completely unplayable at high settings, with a sub 30 FPS average. Blending settings is required to achieve a playable FPS. To conclude, while the previously tested GTX 900 series card maintained their positions as superior 1080p high settings graphics cards, the 950 can still run modern titles at lower settings. So for those of you on a tight budget, a 950 can make a lot of sense as long as you are prepared to compromise on graphics quality. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Also feel free to check out the rest of the content on this channel. Thank you for watching.